this time on the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ready to vote, all those in favor? Votes 3-0. We got claims 1 through 157 monthly, as well as payroll claims.
I got a question on that before we do that.
Okay.
And I guess I could ask, Rusty, there was on the claims, on regular claims, you had, and it was travel and mileage and equipment and supplies, and it was all through First Bank card. It totaled up $605.69.
I'd like to see that. I don't,
What else?
do we have that?
What do you want? What do you want?
Rusty, we were gonna pass the claims, and I had a question on, Rusty had, with Robert C. Peters.
Yeah.
Travel and mileage, he has postage 5110, travel and mileage 17808, there's a whole list of them. The equipment 23980, and it was all on First Bank card.
Okay.
And I just wondered what it was.
Yeah, I'd like to know too.
Okay, we'll put a, well, she looks at it. Carol?
I'm here with the Scott County Historical Committee, and it's going to speak on behalf regarding our progress on Batesville Bridge restoration.
Yes, we finally got a plan, so we're going out and soliciting more private donations, but in June we were here and we kind of got the commitment from the county that they'd remove the trees and do some ditching so the water won't flow on the north side of the bridge. And we checked with Rusty in July and September and heard it was still a priority item, but we just wondered if it was going to get done this fall.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking for what. We cut trees yesterday or the day before, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, now.
Been there every day except for past 2
Right.
days.
I let her cut. As a matter of fact, there's 2 in the creek I gotta get out, so.
We had
Is that on the monthly report?
We had one next on the one.
Today's monthly,
Right.
Okay.
the monthly one?
Well, the one you sent me in the,
Are you gonna then ditch it on
With
the
the
north
agenda.
side?
I haven't gotten the equipment.
Terry's report.
So.
Yeah, well, she's got 2 of them. One
Right.
is for the month, like 1.7
The
million.
non-public, that's the one that has the credit
Okay,
card.
the 1.7 million. Okay.
This year,
I just didn't know which one for her to pull out.
we're hoping that we'll
She's
be
got
able
one
with the
plan.
rest of the work and.
Right, I understand that, but I got the trees up.
They're down, but they have to come out, right?
Out of the creek, the 2 that are in the creek, so. You got whatever it is.
No, I don't, Terry's pulling the claim.
Oh, okay.
now.
Cause I haven't only used it when I went to the conference one time. On the, room, the Marriott, the only one I've ever used the card on.
Okay.
Unless you put it, use the, I don't know what it.
But did it come out of 1176, like highway? Well.
Hey, I feel good I've got, the First Bank card, who it was.
Do you know what page?
It was a whole list, it was a whole list of them. I mean, it was a.
It was probably everybody's first bank card that was due, and they all went out early because they had to be paid by the 4th. So,
So it wasn't all Robert people.
no, those weren't all done.
Amen, thank
Poor
you.
Rusty.
I even got that card in, so I couldn't even put it.
I thought he went on a spree or something, I didn't know.
I don't know where they're
So
all
the
at.
price for a car, because.
They
Yeah.
weren't spread apart, they were all together, every one of them
Right
was together.
here. Yeah.
They all had their name.
They're learning about that, brother.
It was all Robert.
That's not it.
I didn't
Well,
think
there's
I
some
must
of
have
them. I
taken
think
them
that's
in now.
probably most
Well-
of them. Let's see.
If they weren't, if they weren't his, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay, I
Oh,
just.
right here it is. Yeah.
See, See, it's all wrong.
Travel, equipment.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah, there was
But it
no-
all looks like it went to Robert People, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
score.
No.
So that's not right?
This is where it went, first bank card. This is where the card is.
That's what I said, and
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just wondering
I'm sorry.
why it was, why it all went to him.
Yeah, it's in good hands. It's his card. This is where we paid his highway credit card bill. I did.
This first column is the vendor,
Yeah,
and the comment has to do with.
has the person's name that's on the card, so that when the check goes there, they know.
So, will Jerry use it?
No.
Who used it then? Who used it? He said he didn't use it.
Rusty said he didn't use it.
Well, she probably used, does she use your card?
To make
postage,
purchases.
To make purchases, yes.
Yeah. That's how it works.
So maybe you shouldn't put Rusty's name
Well, I
here.
won't for now.
I think that was the confusion. She put
Okay.
his name, like here it has Fountain County Ambulance, so, she could.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's like this,
Yeah.
always before, that's who spent the money.
Yeah.
That's where the
That's
line is,
okay.
and you're saying that's
I
not.
get that.
spent the money.
I get that.
That department's got the money.
Yeah.
I can go with that, I can go with that, but that's not what it said.
We'll change that up from
You
now on.
see anything else? Huh? You see anything else?
Was there anything else that you?
Oh, yes, Brad Keller got mileage.
Yes. He drove when we went to that cybersecurity class when Paul and I, so he got paid.
Answer that. That's it. No, well, I'll just question for the rest. I can do that, not anything to do with money. Doesn't mean anything with that. I'll catch you when you're in the box. Okay.
All right, turn it back over to you guys.
Okay, well, and I haven't been down there in a few days, so appreciate getting the trees laid out. And hopefully later this fall, we can trench it so the water don't flow in the north side of the
Yeah.
bridge.
Travis was down there when we met on that, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes,
So,
And he set them down to cut the trees the other day, so
okay,
they said they dropped two in the creek, we gotta get out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
okay. Yeah, you weren't really in the loop on that,
No.
on that meeting. Rusty, so-
No, but
Yeah.
Carol talked to me and I told Travis we need to get it done, so he sent them.
Sure.
I'm thinking Thursday maybe or Wednesday,
Okay.
one of those 2 days, and they went and cut.
Well, if you could, maybe the next day or so, get down there and take a look and see what you think. and we'll- Well,
This afternoon.
okay. Anything else on the?
No, we're really anxious to move forward.
Sure you are.
and we're just.
Yeah, have you been in
We've
contact?
talking about this since
Have
January.
you been in contact with Dan Collin?
Yes, we have.
What's his status? Like,
The status is that Dan has not responded, which has been our biggest hangup. So, we've been working with the Indiana Covered Bridge Association and looking at other options, but I don't know if he's busy or if he's tied up, but he's been out here, but,
Yeah. he shorted up.
he shored it up. He shored it up. That was in December of last year,
All right.
for which we paid him a considerable amount of money,
Mhm.
but he's not moved forward.
so we're looking at other contractors, because he won't answer letters, emails, or telephone calls, so we're looking at.
Appreciate your help, because we need the county support to move forward with it. It's a county project, really.
Right, okay, all right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'll make a motion on the claims.
I'll second.
All right, ready to vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Okay, one. Okay. All right, department head reports, Rusty.
Thanks for clearing my name on the bank card. I can get the Mustang out now.
There you go.
Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the EMA office, we are officially having a road grader training school seminar. It's a webinar. It's being put on by Nebraska, which is, he's the LTAP leader, it's through Purdue University. He's the LTAP leader in Nebraska, who is also a retired construction battalion instructor for this Navy. And Nebraska is the #1 in gravel roads in the nation as far as quality and what have you. So there's 4 seminars that are an hour and 20 minutes long. And Joe has agreed to put them in. We're already hooked into his system down there. So after this is done, Fountain County has been selected by Purdue. When the COVID and that opens up, I have a 7-mile section of gravel road that this gentleman's going to come and do a hands-on with all of our people. He suggested they all take the 4-hour training, which we've agreed and everybody's willing. So the next one after tomorrow will be October 27th. And that's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then there's 2 in November, and I haven't got the actual times and dates on those yet. Joe has agreed we can hold 25 in there. And so we're ready to go with that. Also, River Road, we completed the mowing, and I had a Purdue study on River Road. I don't know if you guys are aware how many vehicles per day travels River Road from Atticus to Lafayette, but this was only from Riverside to Lafayette, 840 vehicles per day. Only 3% are trucks, and trucks are anything at way over 20,000. Only 3% were trucks. That is a 40-mile-an-hour posted road. The average speed was 60 miles per hour on a very dangerous highway. So it is mowed clear back. We got a lot of visibility, but still that doesn't control. One of the major problems up there is, oh my gosh, yeah, I couldn't believe that.
It looks awesome too. When I asked you guys to look at that, I just thought you'd take one pass, get the weeds off the road. You
No,
guys done a real good job.
no, we've mowed it back so we don't have to mess with it.
Yeah.
And other than that, we're hauling sand. Our salt will be here in 2 weeks. They call them state salt bids. So we're hauling our sand to mix right now, trying to get that done before snow.
We got, and here again on the expense report, I saw that we had paid, the gravel guy, Froge in Leaderburg, about 15,000. And I did not know, we had kind of tried to cut back on, unless his gravel has improved. I mean, it had way too much sand in it. You put it on the road and it runs and it's gone.
It's only used on any place where there's no housing whatsoever. And there was the roads that we haven't touched this year, we put gravel on.
I mean, the Duraburn is a far better base builder.
Duraburm's terrible. You asked me one time about eating road grader blades up there's where you eat them up.
Well, maybe it's terrible.
Steel on steel, Don, won't work. It won't work.
Well, but as far as doing what it's supposed to do, the Duraburn is far better than.
Duraburn takes 2 truckloads per 1 truckload of 53 gravel. And when you add the cost up, it costs more than 53s. Am I correct, Roger?
Sorry, sir.
Duraburn versus 53s?
Yeah, what's the question?
Duraburn costs more than 53s for coverage.
On the long term, yes, because it compacts and breaks down. If you go for volume, one-on-one, yeah.
Where are you getting the 53s out of?
West Lebanon,
Well, I think you can get them cheaper out of Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park over there, but I've got travel maintenance too. On vehicles, more fuel, this is less. When you figure it up, I'm hauling twice the volume out of West Lebanon than either one of those places, less wear and tear on the vehicles and less breakdown.
Well,
And you'll find the cost, when you do the cost,
it's about the same.
pretty close. But if I have to hire somebody to haul it,
If you've got a bad spot in the road and you put that gravel on, we had it when we started, you are not helping the road.
Not the gravel, I'm using 53s on the bad spots. After I dig it out, I put the Duraburn under the bottom, 53s on top of the Duraburn. Now it can push all at once, I don't care,
The
because
problem
I'm
with
gonna
our
hurt
roads
it.
is they have no base because we have used that rotten gravel.
That's probably true, but I'm digging those parts out. Go look at it. You'll see a big difference. I'm old fashioned. Get the water away. Dig out the bad spots, put your base, which is Duraburn would work. Then come over top. You put Duraburn on top, you can't grade it. Go look at Mountain Road.
It may be hard on the blades, but
It sets up, Don, it forms together and it pushes up. Go look at the pipes that are put in with Duraburn, they're pushing up.
I bet you I've almost done as much Duraburn as you have.
You probably have. How much traffic's on it? Driveways, it's great. How much traffic's on a driveway? Once you start compacting Duraburn, you're not gonna get it up. And you take those garbage trucks running Mountain Road right now, you're gonna have to jackhammer Mountain Road to get it up. The grader blades just run across the top, make sparks, and they make chips out of it. It's steel on steel.
Well, you can, I mean, you're gonna be able to do, it's not gonna make that much difference in a while anyway, but I think you're not doing good with it.
Well,
If you're using that gravel.
I've used 53s on about everything I've done. I didn't use very
We
much
would be
gravel.
better off to go to all 53s as far as. on the road.
Exactly, exactly. I'd be more than willing to do that in a heartbeat. I don't have a problem with that at all. I know 2 counties that are all 53s on every gravel road they got.
Yeah, I do too.
And I mean, I'll take you down there and show you. It's,
You don't need to show me, I know what you're talking.
if you have no traffic, you can work the Duraburn back in on it. I'd just soon take the Duraburn off, put 53s on it.
Rusty, I know, I mean, I've seen it with millings, but I've not seen it with Duraburn that you can't get it back up or you can't grade it. I've not seen that.
Look at your grade blade. Come go with me. I'll show you.
Well,
Be glad to.
okay, if it hurts, I understand on the grade, okay. I disagree, but. you can-
Well, we can disagree and
We can
agree.
disagree. We can disagree.
But that's all I've got.
Thank you very much.
Darrell?
Really, the only thing I got is in the agenda, is the quotes on the concrete pad. And if you look at that, I think she gave you copies of the quotes on those. Just wanted to go through that. It says in there, the quote from Smart Landscaping was $13,650. But that includes tax, or tax exempt, so it's gonna put it down to like 13.3, I think it is, somewhere around there. The other gentleman, that Dennis Harden,
I got an email or something, I don't have one here.
I bought some just in case.
I saw
I
it in
emailed
the-
I have an extra one here.
in what was sent, but I didn't see.
So I stapled them together for you. The first few pages are from Smart Landscaping, and then that very last page is from a gentleman named Dennis Harden. He works for a company called Poly Concrete out of Lafayette. Kind of goes out on his own and does concrete work. One of my employees had him do some work for him and was very impressed. So he just had him come in and do a quote. So smart landscaping coming in is going to be a 30 by 38 inches thick, and then it's going to, and then we'll run a sidewalk out to the pad, and that's all included in it. When you look at the price, it does say like 13,650, but that's including tax, which we're tax exempt. You take that off, so you're probably looking at 13.3, somewhere around in there. And then Dennis Harden come in right at 13,000. So
Hard to tell yet.
Yeah, he works for a company called Poly Concrete, but he does it privately.
Who got the money for it?
I talked with Brenda, you know, I think she was looking at the funding on it. My recommendation is go with Smart since it's local, but I wanted you guys to review it, you know, whatever you decide you want to do with it, that's fine. But I brought it up at the last meeting. I told you I'd bring you the quotes once I had that information. Here it is. And I, you know, like to move forward with
If you
it.
have the money, I'll make a motion to use
I
Smart.
just, as far as the money, seeded, there's probably 58,000 unspent. There's 88,000 unspent in Coon Cap development, and I think that's probably the healthier fund to take it out of. Rainy day, we haven't taken much out of it, but we're kind of focusing more on the landfill expenses for the rainy day. Riverboat revenue, I've got 19,000 unspent, and the county farm 50,000, but we're kind of putting a hold on some of the county general maintenance and the county farm just because of over the years buying the sheriff vehicles. So my recommendation would be seeded or Coon Cap development, probably in the reverse order.
Is this a priority? I mean, is this something that we need right away?
It's something that was supposed to have been done 8 years ago, to be honest, when they put the building in, it was in that. And then we discussed possibly when the jail was done, we would get, you know, once we got that all set up, we would go ahead and move forward with it. I would say yes, because, you know, the challenge we run into is, you know, we are flying more people out. I shouldn't say more, but we're flying people out, and the places where to land them is, you know, becoming more challenging, and having them.
And driveway now.
Yeah, landing in a driveway or landing out at the school, and depending on the time of the day, you can't land at the school because of activities there. And it would be very beneficial to have it, you know, at our facility. Like I said, it was supposed to have been put in. I don't know where it was taken out, but it was supposed to have been put in when the new building was built, and it never did get put in. And we kind of sat still for a while with a little bit about it, and then we discussed possibly putting it in once we finished with the jail. And then we're here at this point now. I would like to move forward with it and have an area where we can land a helicopter, a main spot that we could go to and not have to look around, you know, making sure we have a stable spot, you know, depending on the weather and all that. You know, if you try to land them in grass or, you know, uneven ground, makes it really tough.
Don, Craig, just so you know, I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago with the hospital group, and they're actually pushing to try to get set sites in the counties. We're looking at it out at state line to try to set up and put a pad in for the helicopters, because it's doing damage to their units when they land in certain areas. They suck up corn husks, you know, and it makes a problem. So they don't want that jeopardy there, or they're trying to establish actual padded areas that they know they're there.
We got the money now.
Are you recommending the lowest quoter?
Not necessarily. My recommendation is somebody that's in our county local. I mean, he's gonna be a few.
Well, you just, if you're not gonna choose the lowest quoter, you just have to discuss what the other lower quoters aren't responsible or the most responsible, or aren't responsible or the most responsible. So if the quote that included taxes, then that's not responsible. The other, but you just need to make a record of, if you're not going to choose the lowest quote, you have to be able to discuss why the lower quotes aren't responsible companies. So you don't, it's otherwise you'll, that's just what the statute says you have to do on the quote process. For public quote.
Well, for one, this guy's quote isn't even on any letterhead, it's an email.
Right.
He's from Lafayette. Smart's done work for us before, done excellent work. They're from Fountain County, they pay taxes in Fountain County. It's $300 difference. So that'd be my motion to hire Smart's on that reasoning.
And the dentist guy is a really nice guy. I met him. He actually
Yeah, I'm
helped.
not saying
No.
negative about him.
He helped when we were with Bill Million, when he put in the concrete pad that was there. He was one of his workers, but he went out with this poly concrete, and then he kind of does stuff on his own. But
Does he have insurance?
from what I've told is he would, his present employer would allow him to run on his shirt tail, is what he said. I know, I'm just communicating. That's why I would say, I mean, he's a nice guy. I would feel more comfortable with,
That's the most important thing.
right, is running with Smart, because we know
And that would be the justification,
Yes.
not to,
yes.
not to use.
Does that suffice? Okay, and I understand what you're saying. That makes sense, yes.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to have Smart Concrete do the slab.
I'll make a motion.
I'll say. Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Vote 3-0.
I don't have anything else really. We're still plugging away. You guys have anything for me?
Are you gonna contact him or you want me to?
Smart, I'll contact him because Jared actually reached out to me. He's the one that came in and did this quotes on it. So he contacted me last week. So I'll contact
I can
him.
have them initial this.
Now, do I need to wait for council approval or is this? No? Okay,
They approved.
okay, all right, I didn't know.
Council budgeted money, so.
Okay, I didn't know. You guys have anything else? Okay,
Thank you. Hey, Craig, we passed over the, I don't know, you want to hold the last Purdue extension?
Oh, 4-H, yes, yeah, we'll pop back up to that, thank you. Declare 4-H week. 4-H is Youth Development Program, the nation's cooperative extension system. Learn more about 4-H Youth Development Programs, help America's youth gain valuable academic leadership and life skills and create opportunities for youth to take on challenging responsibilities in the community, service projects, and more. Adam, you have anything to add to that, or?
Well, we'd like to thank you for recognizing that this week. Then we gave you guys a little thank you just for your support with 4-H. And as you guys know, this past year has been very interesting for us with everything with COVID especially. But one thing that we did find, and I hope this make you guys happy, is, Fountain County, even though we had a lot of things thrown at us, the kids this year especially really came out and they did an amazing job this year. And I think they still, showed just as much, strength and resolve as they always did, and they did really well. And I think this coming year is going to be a really good year. We're hoping that we get everything back to normal this year. But I mean, overall, I think our 4-H program's in a very strong spot. And I think hopefully you guys are very proud of what we have. And I know our kids definitely have worked hard and they are going to continue to work hard for sure. So we just want to thank you guys for your support on that.
Thank you.
Ready for the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Sheriff's not here?
There you are.
Hi, Terry. How's it going?
Good, how you guys?
Good. Everything working?
Yeah. Right now.
Like a light
You're
bulb.
making some money, I heard.
Yes, so now we're actually holding for Department of Corrections. And they did, I guess Montgomery County, they want to keep their own people. We're taking them, so Department of Corrections is paying us $37.50 a day now. So I've got 6 in there, and they said they'll bring us more. I said, bring more. So,
Well, while he's here, I'd like to personally thank him. I called his department. We had an abandoned vehicle and a man at our church. Those guys showed up. Got rid of the vehicle. They ran the check on him. He's wanted for attempted murder of law enforcement officers in Texas. So they were right there.
Thanks, Terry.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Not out tomorrow.
Eric,
Not out tomorrow.
Eric, Jenny here from Health Department. No,
Don't come.
Joe?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, I'm waiting on a call from the state to pick up some more PPE for responders. And secondly, I finished the updating on the emergency operations plan for the county. And I need the three of you to check off on it. So I think, well, since it's about this, I'll do it on the flash drive so that you can review it and then we'll check off on it maybe by next meeting. Okay. And that we sign off on.
Thank you. Joe, can you do me a favor? I had one of the fire chiefs call me, reference a burn ban before the little bit of rain we got last night or yesterday. I didn't know if you wanted to reach out to them and see if they thought it was necessary or not.
Oh, for burn ban?
Yeah.
Okay. I tried to monitor their runs and I haven't noticed any,
I just told him I'd bring it up.
but I'll check when they got a tri-county meeting Wednesday
night here in Compton.
Oh, we'll check what the ones.
Yeah, great.
Find out.
Fantastic.
Anything else?
Real quick, I was wanting to look at a body scanner for the jail. It's a full body scanner. It's for when you're bringing people in, you can see if they're trying to smuggle anything in. The reason it's kind of piqued my attention, Montgomery County, and Kent might be aware of this, I don't know. We got to a situation where a guy was actually paying guys to smuggle things into the jail. Well, something actually happened, and they had to take this, rush this guy to the hospital. And the bill was actually a little bit more than what the body scanner would be. So I'm kind of looking at that, you know, maybe using a special purpose fund. So
We got an idea what the cost is.
it's actually roughly around 150, because they threw in a 10-year warranty.
You're talking 150,000?
Yes. It's 150, I just paid out of my pocket. So, it is expensive, but I think in the long run, it could actually possibly save us. We've had people.
So it's actually a medical device that shoots through the body and tell they got things crammed.
Mhm, it's legal.
Yeah.
Like an X-ray?
Yes.
Unless, is that something that's on a state, state approved bid for equipment, or is that?
Yeah, actually, a lot of counties are actually doing it now and using the CARES Act money.
Right, no, I'm just saying the manufacturer.
Yes.
Is that,
It's still on the- yes.
it's on the state, it's a state bid, so you can, you don't have to go through bidding. If it's a state,
Right,
if it's a state bid item, then you can just buy it.
right, yeah, I don't have- yeah. So-
Well, and talking to Terry, you know, we could go ahead and with the permission of the commissioners and maybe Jim Lee, and pay for it out of special purpose. If there's funds available still with the CARES Act, and I'm unsure at this time, and then we can do a claims adjustment to take it out of the CARES Act.
I would run that by council.
Okay.
Get them on board.
And a positive thing about it these days is it keeps your officers from making strip and squat.
Yes.
It keeps your officers from having to do actual, I mean, do you guys do that? You think or something, or you take them to the hospital?
If it's felony, we still make them squat and cough.
Okay, but,
I don't like doing that. It's a little bit, you know.
right, but as far as any,
But if we feel there's something there, we have to run into the hospital.
okay, because,
And there may not be anything here.
right,
At that point, then that's my bill.
right.
So if it's in them,
I think it'd be a good tool.
so
And you said it had a 10-year warranty on
there was a 10-year warranty, but that bumps it up to 203,000. My issue is I've looked and done research on the company. What if they go out of business?
it. Right.
That's my issue.
Right.
So,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Great.
I had you guys a piece of paper from Daryl, it's bid for maintenance. This is on, this will be one of the final things on the call a punch list from the state back when they first started checking things out there. The south side of the south cell and the west side of the south and north cell, the ditches or the edges need to be cleaned up pretty bad. And so I got a bid from Daryl. The state is coming in Wednesday. I forwarded an email to everybody. They'll be here Wednesday to do an inspection. And they asked me, Azid asked me if I had all the checklists done. And I said, I'm pretty sure, but I'll make sure. Well, we won't have this done, but at least it shows that we're going to be doing it, as long as you guys don't have a problem with it. So this is just one of the items. It's to clean up the edges that chip them back. And I got several trees that have come down and laying there. And
Just something we can do in the county.
well, the only thing I'd be worried about, I don't know what the county's equipment would do as far as tracking the edge. Daryl's got a piece of equipment that's designed not to track. So that's why. Because you have to drive on the landfill to get to it. And that's the part that.
Then the retired brush cutter, you got a retired that they run to cut brush,
Got two guys here.
mounted on the,
On the arm, yeah.
mounted on the arm.
Yeah, it'll cut up to 2 to 3 inch, sagging type.
Well, there's bigger trees than that there. He's gonna be taking care of cleanup and everything. I mean, if they wanna come over and do that, I guess, that's up to you guys. I just taken away from his manpower and his equipment. And that makes it a little difficult for me, because if I'm put on hold while waiting on this stuff.
Yeah, well, Greg, the machine that Bell has, it's gonna chip from the top down. A lot of the trees are 4 or 5 inch trees that either you take a chainsaw to them, or your machine's not gonna get them because it'll break the machine. If the little saplings, it's not a big deal. This chipper just drops from the top and just chips them all the way down to the ground. And we're gonna end up using that same machine as one of the legal drains that we're doing maintenance on as well.
Well, if it was I mean, with the state kind of watching and we're talking, kind of wanting to get it done for the $4,000, I say we go with the Daryl Bell.
I'll second.
I'll make a motion.
Ready to vote, all those in favor? Aye. Those 3 of them.
Then the second piece of paper I gave you is just the final bid count, shows it's everything zeroed out. That was on the bid for the north cell. As he did it, he billed us accordingly. And then we just received his last bill and it's all zeroed out. So, anyway, that project is pretty much done. Like I said, state's coming in. You guys are welcome to come out and walk through with us. Azid said he's probably gonna bring, like they did last time, there was like 5 of them that came from different, the well people came. Mr. Wolf was there, all kinds of people. They're gonna walk through and see what we've done and hopefully say, good job. So we'll see how that
We will
goes.
get a report from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guarantee we'll get it. We did last time. Yeah, everybody else last time said good job, but Doug gave us a punch list that we had to take care of, so.
All right.
That's all I've got. Doing good. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, I just want to make sure you didn't leave.
Oh, no.
Something coming up in a little bit. Bids for the computer people.
Yeah, okay.
So I just want you to leave. I don't want to get that. I just want to leave.
That's fine.
No, I just wanted to bring it back. So if you guys want to finish what you're doing, that's.
Now you go ahead, IT agreement, IT contract agreement.
was asking, I mean, I know a little bit about this. We had a figure from Keller. And I asked a question, and I think, well, Terry wanted to know what was the jail, what was the amount for the jail? So he got a quote, so we would know, I mean, it was all thrown into one, and Brad didn't have a quote. And I went over and asked Brad to break it down. Well, that morning, I guess he had brought this breakdown over to Brendan. And he gave me a copy of this. You can see that the total cost on the jail, on the sheriff's department was $750 a month. And if you look then on Romtech, we had a separate quote. Terry got a separate quote from Romtech to do the jail. And it was, what is it, 17 or
17 by 18.
Yeah, that's about $1,000 more a month. And Brad went through the stuff while I was standing there. He said all of that stuff is included in his quote. So.
Well, you want to get a bid from somebody that does.
I did. We're back off. It was quite, it was pretty expensive.
Was it?
Yeah, so.
So you would be okay if Keller did it?
As long as we lock him in, to everything that he said he was going to do, yeah.
Everything that's on Ramtech,
Yeah.
Romtech.
So, I mean, trying to be fiscally responsible, you know, I got one quote for 18, no for 750. It's a little bit of a no-brainer, you know, so, you know, now how we're doing the contract, we're doing it year by year. What?
It are going to be what you're.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it. You guys are good with it?
Again, I would ask a question on the insurance, if Keller got insurance, we got an insurance file on them.
We did it one time.
I think so.
So I don't know if
Yeah,
there's-
I don't
Okay.
have no idea about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every vendor always give us one every year.
Okay.
This is not good, the county attorney needs to review. We can make a motion on that, so.
But for this motion for 4150 for everything, is everything else all right?
I can't answer that.
What's that
Well,
for Chris?
Terry's part, we've got his hammered down, but the rest of it, a total of 4,150 a month, and what we're already paying 2,000
Mm-hmm.
for this year.
2000.
So that's $2,000. I mean, that's, I don't care if we just do Terry's portion today and do the others another time, or what, but that's what's taking the line.
Of course, if you add on, and right now, we're not paying him for, or he, in his figure, 911 isn't in his figure, isn't in Brad's figure, correct? Right now, as far as on the $2,000.
It's in front of you, yes.
No, on the 2,000. On the 2,000
Oh,
that we've been
I'm-
paying him, the
I think-
911 is not in that figure.
You'll have to ask Brad that. I thought that they were included, but
Well, the sheriff's department wasn't in his figure.
no, that's true because they're not in this bill.
And I didn't think the 911 was either.
I know the health department was not.
But if you add up those, the difference,
I don't know. I'm sure they do.
and I'm not singing for Brad, but I mean, it's just. Whatever. You gotta have.
Unfortunately, in this time of, you know, we gotta have something, so.
And you haven't had, Brenda, you haven't had any complaints or any problems as far as heard any from anybody here in the courthouse or whatever?
I don't know if you want to wait until, you know, the council meets 2 meetings on Monday. I think they were going to entertain, but this is more for next year, entertain the thought of either hiring a full-time IT or continuing with the contract. They were supposed to be investigating options. I don't know if anything's been done.
So you do a portion of it, or do you want to do the whole thing, or do you want to wait and table until after the council goes over?
For the first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
see what the council says too.
Okay,
How are things going?
good.
As far,
Yeah, we'll run smooth.
A lot of what you're dealing with right now is under warning as far as the new security automation system.
Yeah, which I give Joey from SAS a call. He remotes in, starts going down on, because they're a baby right now. So they have to fulfill that warranty obligation.
Unless it's something that's beyond that scope.
Right,
It
right.
would be
Then it'd be on me and.
outside.
Right.
help. If you're all right with that, we can table it until the council review
Yeah, if you want the council to review it, that's fine. I'm good.
it.
As of right now.
At this time, we wait.
Okay.
because the only thing I'm unsure with is the health department. I was thinking that they went out and got someone, so that may, decrease, monthly. I have to talk with Brad or have Brad at the next meeting.
Right. Which I don't know nothing about 911. I don't know who it's supposed to be with or anything else.
I don't think that could be under the courthouse, but I mean, it's in the building, even though it can be a separate item.
Well, and I did ask Brad to kind of separate the 911 so that if I need to bill Warren County for their portion, I at least have a figure, to go with. Which before
Right.
I did not.
Okay.
He kind of lumped it in, and that's why I can't really answer your question, yes or no, that they're included, 911's included.
Now, has Warren County paid their portion in years past on the IT part?
Warren County hasn't paid a lot.
Warren County
Why do you
hasn't
bill them?
paid. Well, I didn't know what to bill them, but I have found that even that transmitter that the jail's been paying all these years, that probably 911 should have been paying for, and then I should have been billing Warren County for that. So we're working on straightening
Okay.
that out. It just came to my attention the other day when we shut off the power. It was made known that the power's still on. They have to keep the power on in order to get it to their buildings. So that just kind of raised some other questions. So then the big tower there is $400 to $500 a month. The bill is being sent to Indianapolis. Okay, so we're not paying it.
Right.
So when Nancy said we've been paying on the tower, we're paying on the transmitter.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and that's being looked into $20 a month, but $20 adds up over several years. So that will be fixed and then build Warren County accordingly.
All right. As long as they're paying their fair portion. So.
It might be a thing too, they've got a tower just outside Williamsport that we beam off of to get the northern part, and they might be paying their own transmitter.
Well, and I
fees,
talked to
too.
It could be,
Robin Friday.
Nobody
And we're
knows.
not.
And I think it's the same thing. I think they're paying for their tower,
Yeah.
we're paying for our
I think
tower.
they talk.
And then when we get our distribution, I mean, I don't know if they subtract that from our distribution.
Right.
Because we get 19,450 a month. Warren County doesn't get as much money from 911, but.
Okay.
But yeah, when you shut down things, some things kind of rise. It's like, oh, I didn't know we were getting billed for this. What's this? So we are getting clarification on that in several things.
Good. All right, Paul, do you have anything?
I do. Early voting starts tomorrow, 8:30 to 3:30, close for lunch, 1 to 1:30. Question that I've had raised by several candidates over the years, for early voting, they want to put campaign signs on the courthouse lawns to secure our early vote site. I think the commissioners have to, in order to allow that, since they're responsible for the grounds, is to have an ordinance or something giving permission to have signs, campaign signs in the yard. So
We haven't done it in the past.
correct. And so now there are people wanting to,
Mhm.
and so they're asking if you guys would allow that. And what's different this year than the past years is we do have 2 write-in candidates for county council. And since write-in candidates' names are not printed on the ballot, a lot of people don't even know that they have an option to vote for a write-in candidate.
I would think by the time they come to the courthouse, people will have their mind on
And like I said, write-in candidates, there's not a whole lot of advertisement. And when you go to view your ballot online, it's indianavoters.com.
But I've seen some around the yard, right in some.
Right, so where they normally would go to look to see who's on their ballot, write-in candidates will not be listed on their ballot. There's no information posted for that, so I have it on my website. So,
I'd probably say no, I'd probably keep them all for
and other counties have them in their courthouse lawn for early voting.
Of course, I don't have my yard anywhere.
Yeah, I don't, I
I
have,
have a courthouse.
yeah, I can vote in the basement there. At the, off the county property, the signs are put out if they have the satellite areas, but I don't think they have them on the courthouse grounds. Not that I've seen, I don't know for certain, but I've not seen them.
You need to vote on that.
If there's not a motion. You have to have a motion to allow it. If you don't want to allow it, you don't have a motion.
That's all I have.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Paula.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Transfer, county drug-free community, $1,000 from law enforcement, screening, to administrative costs, $2,000. Need a motion?
Yes. Actually, it's the judges involved, but I think Tyler will give you the information. I think their budget is done kind of staggered from when the council actually adopts their budget, and so we don't know what they vote on, what their board votes on, and so I think there's been some confusion on who is going to be the person to contact the auditor, council, commissioners, as far as doing transfers or additions.
Right.
So I did reach out to the judge. I said, if you want additional, I need at least a month's notice. Otherwise, if you think that you can transfer some money, I'm sure the council will be more agreeable to that, to fix the administrative costs, because I think it's going to be $3,000 for you. Is that correct? Okay. And they only budgeted 1,000.
Oh, okay, yes. I'll make the motion.
I'll say.
Ready to vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. This is a transfer seated. Is that correct? From the
Yes.
seated line to
Mhm.
courthouse. This is $2,902.50. This is to repair the blower motor that is an ECM control module. The bearing went out of this motor. This is on the roof mount package unit that's in the atrium. And it was just out of warranty.
Did you see those? Those are the bills that reflect the need for the transfer. The 1,500, and then there's a 1,400 one, and then the air conditioner.
Okay.
I saw that.
Okay. Accept the motion.
I'll make a motion.
Also,
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Transfer 12224 from, this is extension office from postage and dues subscription. Postage to dues and subscriptions.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Extension office 311962. This is part-time summer assistance to special project assistance.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Cume Bridge. This is for bridge repairs, $328,575.18. Cost of bridge work on number 25 and number 30, Antioch Road and Bridge in Ghost Hall.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ready to vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Cume Bridge, $4,700. $300, lumber and signs to $5,000 to bridge foreman. Cover foreman pay increase due to filling as interim superintendent. That Travis?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Second.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. Resolution 2020-19, this is on the properties in Attica.
I don't know what Ken take over on this one.
Yeah, on, Attica's redevelopment commission is trying to clean up 2 or 3 big properties in Attica. And they went ahead and took possession of a couple of them, and they have another one that's pending, and it was transferred to a development company that's coming back. And there's a part of the property tax statute, when a governmental body comes into, becomes a title owner, and even taxes that accrued before they took possession, there's a petition for forgiving those taxes. So, at this point, last Friday I was working with them to get all there are more than these parcel numbers. I'm trying to clarify with them it's as many as 5 different parcel numbers that are affected. It's the Masonic Lodge, the old Attica Hotel, another downtown restaurant that's near there.
The lower furniture.
Yeah, and so we're just trying to clean that up. So, and then similar but unrelated, the town of Petersburg, there is a property on the tax sale list that Petersburg wants to acquire that is right up against the wastewater treatment plant in Petersburg.
Over right away.
Yeah, and so if you can just have a motion to give me authority to take the properties that Attica has requested and the Petersburg property out of the tax sale list. And we'll get that done, and then at the next meeting, I'll have the petitions ready for the forgiveness for the property taxes.
Because the tax sale is October 19th at 9 o'clock, the same time that the council is meeting, and your meeting is not until that night. So we need to know whether to pull it out of the tax sale, go ahead and send it through, and what they'll probably do is let people know what the situation is, so probably no one's gonna bid on it, yeah.
Well, the commissioners can just take those out of the sale.
I'll make a motion to check them out and say.
Also. Ready for the vote, all those in favor? Aye. Vote is 3.
We've already written down about 3.
They have, I was down there
Nice.
last week. I got that guy to drag a sheet out there, knock another building down.
Yeah, looks nice.
So while you're at it, keep going.
Yeah, well, they're going to clear that one.
This is to accept seal quotes bids on steam boilers that are in the courthouse currently. Update them, reseal them. Put them back in service. Keep maintaining service.
Yeah, I think in the last meeting, you authorized those quotes to go out, and those quotes have, there's miscommunication, those quotes haven't been sent out. If it's under 100, if it's anticipated it's under 150,000, then for a public work, you can just mail to at least 3 companies that do that work and receive sealed quotes. In the meantime, an engineering firm that was at that last meeting, they gave a recommendation to follow a little different process called request for proposals. And then instead of us defining the work that we want done, then that's asking for these companies to put it in terms that, to evaluate it and put it in terms that they think it needs to be done. It's just a different, little different process. So if you can move ahead either way, it's just
So this, is this express code that you're talking about? So they would be like a guide on,
That Brad said he'd help us.
so they could bet on it then if they're.
Right.
Oh,
Well, I think the thought, Jim Lee had a conversation with Brad, and, conversation was, they would be kind of like a if we move forward with Ameresco, they would be like a construction manager.
But we're talking about just the bid on these things.
Right, Brad
Just to
wanted,
get-
yes.
Get an idea of what this.
But
is
if you did the
gonna
other, Brad was wanting some, to interject there because he didn't want the county to be, say, when you were talking about the specs, I think Brad wanted to interject some wording.
Yeah,
I think the wording, he didn't want the county to be liable for some miscommunication, like you said, with the bidding parts. Companies would take it on themselves to, well, this is what we're gonna do, and it's not really what you wanted as a county.
You said Jimmy Lee wanted to meet with the commissioner.
Yeah, I think Jim Lee was wanting to meet with Ameresco with Brad and, I don't know, maybe Mark too, just, and Kent, I don't know if all of them, could just come just for a fact finding, to where they can just kind of talk. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like a really scheduled
That's-
meeting, they just want to talk to him about different things.
I think that's administrative, that's an executive function that doesn't have to be noticed as a meeting.
So can we still accept a motion on the quotes and
Well, there aren't any, we didn't receive any quotes back, so I mean, there's not really any action to take. It's,
I need to know the companies that you want these mailed to.
but.
And do I need to mail them?
No, if we're gonna go this, if you're gonna work with, if Ameresco is gonna define the project further, or if they're gonna define the scope of the request for proposals, then that's still part of the public works statute, it's just a different bid process. And it's, and it's being used more and more. Request for proposals is where you say what you want done, the executive defines what you want done, and then it's up to the contractors and the engineers to come back in and say, how they're gonna, what their proposal is to achieve that goal. So it's not, I think what they're wanting us to avoid is us not scoping out the project and just getting bids to that when it's much broader. We want somebody to look at this, if it's the boilers, then the proposal probably, even you can do it for a roofing project. If you, instead of the commissioners having to get up there and find where a leak is and scoping out, fixing that, you ask for proposals to fix the courthouse roof, and then it's on them, and there's no cost. They have to do the work to tell you what they're targeting and how to fix it.
I didn't have to climb up in there and look for that? Okay.
Brad, one thing if I may add, I've done 20 years of RFP work. You are required to allow on site visit. If you ask for an RFP, they are allowed a 4-hour, 8-hour site visit. Take a look at the rules so they know what they're bidding at. And then when they submit the RFP to you, you should have a technical person in-house that knows what they're submitting and can tell you whether they're responsive or not. Otherwise, somebody will tell you, I need you to remove all the shingles and all the paper layer, and you don't know if that's needed or not. So those are the two things with RFPs.
That's where our Ameresco would help us, because they have the knowledge to know.
Well,
We want them to help us out with the bid on the boiler.
the what?
Do you want them to help us out with the bid on the boilers? Ameresco.
I really don't have a problem with that. I mean,
Do you wanna
everybody needs to be on the
reach out
same page. I mean, on the same plane.
Well, like I said, we don't know what we're looking at.
Or we're looking at cost to help us out.
I don't know that,
I think
I would
I'll ask, but I don't
Okay.
think they're gonna charge.
I didn't know, because we were
Pretty
kinda-
good Look over, it. I mean, get the wording right and look at what comes in. But I'll ask.
because I think the next step was gonna be, if you did move forward, then it was gonna be advertising. Right?
That's on the.
That's on their-
the
that
big
other thing, but I'm
project, yeah.
talking
But on
about-
this would be the same thing, I mean,
they're still gonna do
the same
something.
with boilers, it'd be the same thing, same process.
I'll let you reach out to them.
Good.
You gave me this one. Business stuff.
Yeah, that was Brad's, breakdown from.
Oh, okay,
I think at one time.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And Brad did text me back, because I asked him about the 911, and he said they just take care of small issues, like when they're in here, if they get a call from Kathleen, he just goes over there and fixes it, like they're covered. But I have never billed Warren County for a contract, because a lot of their equipment is, has warranty and someone else takes care of it, so they only have like 1 or 2 computers. And whatever's on that paper that I give you.
Okay, well, if nothing more.
I guess there's 5 desks.
Can I do quick drainage, just to keep you guys up to date?
Okay, we cut this meeting and then go into drainage.
Yeah, it's.
There wasn't,
You can just,
you had on the papers that you sent out, you had Brooklyn Courthouse hallway, so the judges, and we haven't covered that, I don't see it on the agenda, is that not you on there?
I didn't put, the only thing I, pull that out, trade craft. I think I have a hard copy of that. Yeah, they came in and gave a quote for probation. Yeah, I didn't put that on there.
Well, probation was separate from the
Mhm,
hallway.
yes. There we go.
So if we don't need to do that, that's fine.
Well, I think the probation is the one that the judge started it, and then it needs to be finished. So there's, because the other one was 25,000.
I mean, I kind of like to know what more of that. I'd like to talk to somebody or have somebody ask about it.
Well, do like what they did, the judge's office, I think, they dropping the ceiling down, is that what it says? And then.
That's the quote.
That's really modeled,
For finished probation office.
I checked like 3 or 4 contractors, I can't get anybody here to do anything. That's one I got in here, he is good time, I did it home. Got out of that.
Tradecraft.
But does this
Andrew
need to
Happy.
be done, or is this a want to be done?
Have you seen the office?
No.
It's,
I mean,
it is
nobody,
just raw scrape, like someone just scraped wallpaper off, and it's,
They took shelving on.
yes, it's,
oh, so that's the one, the old library.
Yeah.
Part of the old library over there, where all the books were, and they took the bookshelves off the walls.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
think
I didn't
that's,
know they made that in, I didn't know that that's.
no, it's not, we're talking about, it's the east side of the courthouse. The judge had a storage room that she used to be the IT, and then she moved stuff, right, Rick? Rick, you want to come out here?
Probation guys. There's 3.
There's 3 of them.
It's the guy's room.
I haven't seen.
The walls are really cracked, the ceiling's a mess.
And that's not the one they took the shelving out of. Or,
No, that's where Brad Howells.
Yeah, it was like a storage.
Just that,
For the judge's
knocked the
IT.
ceiling down 2 to 6.
I thought that was Mrs. White's office, where they took the shelving out.
Yeah, that was her office.
Yeah. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
No, we're talking about the east room. It's on the east side, okay?
I paid attention to it.
Well, if you go up there, it's like some old building where someone just took wallpaper and just started stripping some stuff, and there's cracks everywhere. It's not, it needs to be finished, it needs to be.
Amy's the only one who could have been.
Yes.
It's all full contract. I called.
We can't get anybody.
The contractor in town doesn't work, I'm not even on contact anymore, because he won't, start messing with it. But he's the only guy that put the bid in, so if he put the bid in, I know he's good.
We just can't get anybody in here to fix anything, so.
You had another one for 25, that's the hallway, it's 25,
That was the South Hall.
That's the same guy.
Yeah, right, Amy, I know the hallway.
And that's where that got tabled, but, I mean, and
Yeah.
here's the quote for that one.
Yeah.
but I wasn't,
That might need to be done down the road, it kind of looks like you can tell the difference, you know.
but yeah, the probation office does, and the judge doesn't budget anything, you know, for repairs, because that's more commissioner's deal to
Bill,
the building. So.
Did you get a bid on that guy saying you want Andy?
Those are it, that's why I passed
That's
around.
trade
How
credit,
much is it?
6,500.
Really? It's not bad.
no, it's not what he's doing too.
And he's very good, you get what you pay for.
I know he has good for
Well, remember last time he went to seconds, and he didn't have to do that, we tried to get him to bill us more, he wouldn't do it.
It won't be long more, we'll have Brandon Ricketts come in, drop the light, fix your thing. They want to put it back up, and they want to put a fan in here too. So you're probably looking at another 1,500. I guess. On top of that. But it needs to be
Motion to
done.
let Trade Craft do this project. Doesn't look out of line to me.
I can't find anybody else, you can find anybody that's good.
I guess, I just wasn't in the office. I hadn't seen any attention to it. Yeah.
That's up to you.
You want to move forward with it? I don't care. It's totally up to you. Or wait, table it, do some more exhaustive research, do that. Whatever you think. Did you make a motion? You made a motion to accept.
I mean, basically, we need, now or January 1, it's gonna get done. Regardless. But I don't care.
I'll second. Ready for the vote? All those in favor? Those 3-0. That's it then.
That's just the one office, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Up hallway. Okay,
And then I think I need you to have a thing for accepted under the total, where your finger is.
I mean, yeah,
I'll need your John Henry on that.
that's the wrong one.
Okay.
Did I pass that? on to you
Yes.
guys? Trade craft, 65.
Yeah, that's why I need. Sign the other one.
Yeah. All right, that take care of this meeting, yes?
So
We can stop and then do the grand deal.
I'm just gonna continue.
Okay.
Just a few minutes from you. I just want to update you on the drains, and then I need Kent's help with something.
Okay.
I got a call from Mr. Tuggle. He's ready to start on his drain. I told him that I'd rather hold off just a little bit longer because his neighbor has not taken his crops out yet. And if I do his section and I don't do the neighbor's section, then we're mobilizing twice and it's gonna cost us that much more money. So he reluctantly agreed and told me that he will give me a call once the neighbor's crops are out. The long ditch, the same thing with the long ditch. There's a big hole we need to fix. You guys have approved the funding to do that. It's a matter of getting the crops out so we don't, it's harvest season. You don't want to destroy crops just to get in there. So it's a matter of a couple of weeks and we'll be able to do that. While we were doing the watershed for the long ditch, we identified one parcel that is miles away that has been taxed under the long ditch. That's where I need Kent's guidance on how do we address a parcel that has been taxed over the years that's not even in the watershed.
Wow.
Right, I don't know how it got in there by mistake or I'll double check it with you, Brenda, because because we got it off of that list that you give us, that these are tax parcels. And one of them just, the ditch is here and one of them sat out here in the county. It's 2 acres, so hopefully it's not a lot. But I don't know what the legal process is, whether you refund the money or, so that's where I need, and how long has it been assessed?
I can go back 3 years.
Okay, so then maybe there's an answer there.
Yeah, that's usually the case, 3 years. So I'll check the statute.
Yeah, that was one of the things that flagged, when we were doing that, I'm like, oh crap. I don't know how bad that is. But other than that, we're looking at the watershed. We're probably gonna adjust the parcel sizes, because of the technology, just like all the other watersheds. we have a more definitive delineation of the watershed. So once we do that, so we've done 2 or 3 of those watersheds so far. We haven't moved to the next step of actual updating the assessments and doing the legal part of it. And my recommendation, I think, is we're at the point where we probably should start doing that. Otherwise, we're just spending engineering money to do all this, which is not wasted, but we need to take advantage of it and start taxing those properties based on that.
Long.
Sorry? Yeah, long, yeah, long, the gentleman that, yeah, signed the document. So,
Part of it's getting assessed and part of it is.
right. So that's another thing, Kent, is, you know, what's our next step to move forward to start implementing those assessments? We know how many acres, we know how many parcels, we know the owners, it's just,
Yeah, just have to go through
send the mailers and.
Yeah, just go through the paper,
Right.
go through the process with notice and I'll schedule for hearings and we can talk all that out. I'll feel it done.
And if you guys are ready to pull the trigger on that, then I can take all my work, summarize it into one small report for each watershed and kind of give it to you and to Kent and to Brenda and say, okay, guys, here where we are. If you want to start, maybe, you know, with the new year, I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe January 1st will start or something. It doesn't matter to me.
Got it moving, just need to keep it going. You know?
Okay. That's it in a nutshell. So we'll start spending a little bit of money on those drains as soon as the crops come out. Just want to let you guys know that. Good? Good thing. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Kent. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll check the section, get it done.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Rob.
That's it.
Easy, easy. Daryl did a great job on the landfill. It really looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think our meeting on Wednesday will come back with some Doug Wolf comments for sure.
I'll get you the information for those tree grants.
I don't know.
Zoom one.
Oh, no, that was it.
I was just wondering.
Just stop it?
The county was bad. We had this all. We used 50 values. Well, and I just thought that. I asked, well, then I think that was back.
Yeah.
I got pictures, farmers that sent me pictures. We just bring that gravel when it rains and.
I'll try not to bug you.
I mean.
I agree.
You know, and so.
See ya.
What it said on it. And Matt is told me, Matt's told me. Right, he said, we can, he said, you can get it for the same price as he got completely right. You know, so but if the county doesn't have the money, there, if you have, because what happens, even if you put that stuff, even if you put that gravel. But I mean, even if it's not a wet spot, and you're spreading that gravel.